So, a significant shake-up of Nigeria's security leadership, with President Tinubu turning to a seasoned soldier to steer the country's defense ministry. General Christopher Musa, a battle-hardened veteran with over 3 decades of experience, is the new defense minister, subject to Senate approval. He replaces Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who resigned, citing health reasons. General Musa's appointment comes at a critical juncture, with Nigeria grappling with a surge in insecurity, including banditry, kidnappings, and militant attacks. As Chief of Defense Staff from 2023 to 2025, General Musa led key operations against insurgency in the Lake Chad region, earning recognition and accolades, including the prestigious Colin Powell Award for Soldiering in 2012. With his nomination awaiting Senate confirmation, many analysts say General Musa is poised to bring a fresh perspective to Nigeria's defense strategy. But they say he also faces the daunting task of tackling the country's complex security challenges. Well, let's find out what a top member of the National Assembly thinks. And for this, I'm joined now in the studio by the chairman of the House Committee on Defense, Honorable Jimi Benson. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. And let's be clear that he actually served under you, because you've been the chairman of the House Committee on Defense for some time now.
That's right. I actually screened him in 2023. Yes. So, you want me to talk about it?
So you know a thing or two.
I know one or two things about him.
Yeah. So let's start from that then. In your assessment, does General Musa's experience and expertise make him the best fit for the role of defense minister, given Nigeria's current security challenges, or just a fit, given the fact that we suddenly had a defense minister who had to drop out because ostensibly he fell sick, or he's been sick?
Okay. Yeah, I think he's a good fit. He's a round peg. Like I said, I screened him about 2.5 years ago, and I still remember how well he did at the screening session. He's a soldier. He was in the theater in Maiduguri, and he was also known for his welfarist approach to his soldiers. And one who...
To a soldier with a heart.
With a heart, yes, with a big heart, right? So he took care of his boys, so I like that. I like to see that. I like to see soldiers who don't think about themselves, who think about the welfare of the troops behind them. Yes. So I also think it's an opportunity for the president to take his eyes a little bit off the heavy workload, because he's going to assign that job with somebody who comes in with tremendous respect from the armed forces, tremendous respect from the parliament as well, tremendous respect from Nigerians. I actually spoke with him today, and I said he's probably the most Googled man in Nigeria at the moment. You know, so he has come at a very challenging time.
Indeed.
And I remember what Taisho Larry used to say: "May your road be rough." You know? But
on that note of challenging time, because you would know a thing or two about that, how will the National Assembly, in its screening process, ensure that he aligns with this country's overall security strategy and priorities?
He has no choice. His work is cut out for him. Like I always use the word VUCA. America said we live in a VUCA world. So whenever they go to a territory that is a bit, they call it VUCA, that's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So the world is volatile. So I know he's done his analysis. He knows he lives in, his work is cut out for him. You know, so he needs to ensure that security and welfare of the people is maximized, particularly the security.
And I mean, obviously the National Assembly, you included, chairman of Defense, the Committee on Defense. I mean, it much more so now than before because of not only the security challenges, the international focus, particularly the United States on Nigeria, the fact that the president has declared emergency in the security sector. I mean, it almost seems that there's more work for the National Assembly to do to ensure that this new defense minister is checked and balanced by new mechanisms that will ensure that he is accountable to the National Assembly and to the Nigerian people.
Absolutely. He came in 2003 with a set of guys, General Agbaja and two others at that time. And their priority was always to say that the kinetic solution should be hand in hand with the non-kinetic. For them, the non-kinetic is ensuring that the local government work effectively. They always said that they go out, they win territories and in ungovernable spaces, but they don't see local government administration in place, right? So he's somebody who understands that winning the war and ensuring that government, the last mile local government administration become very effective and efficient aids security, not insecurity. So that's his philosophy, right? We fight, we win the battle, and a responsible, responsive, efficient government is in place to make sure things flow.
And when you have somebody who is demonstrably efficient like that, and who is not just us saying it, I mean everybody who is in the field, a lot of his colleagues, those under him, those who are on the same level with him, have said that. I mean, when that happens, does that make it easier for the National Assembly in its oversight role to ensure that the defense minister is implementing policies and programs effectively?
Yes, it makes it easier. So the relationship is more smoother because we already knows he has a good heart, he has empathy, and is also ruthless. I remember one of those days we had an oversight session in Kaduna. So we said to him, how are we going to go to Kaduna? We need transportation with serious backup. He said, no, the Kaduna to Abuja road is free. I'm from Kaduna. I will never, ever allow Kaduna to be in the hands of bandits or terrorists. So he liberated that place till date. You can go on the Kaduna-Abuja expressway without any bandits or
but that's one place.
Issues.
That's there are
one
numerous
place.
other places where you really can't go on the road. It's not advisable.
Yeah, but it wasn't, I'm saying, because of him.
Right.
The place became liberated. And there are many, many more places, many more things he's tried to do, right? That now he's the overarching authority in the, if passed by the screening passes through, his overarching authority that superintend over that ministry. And our job is to ensure that we provide adequate scrutiny to ensure that he does a great job.
And is there the remotest chance that the Senate in particular, but the National Assembly in general, might end up not confirming him?
That would be tough. But I'm sure he's a man of steel. Yes, he's able to defend his qualifications. He's able to defend his professional experiences. If he can do that, I don't think there's any reason why they wouldn't pass him.
But do you see any conflicts of interest that might get in the way?
No, I don't see any conflict of interest,
Well, let me seize the opportunity of having you here, because it's not every day we have you sitting there. You're the chairman of the House Committee on Defense, which is a very strategic committee. Let's talk about the security problems in this country at the moment, because I mean, you've been there for a while, and I'm sure you'll agree that it has been getting worse, not better. I mean, that's the general consensus with a lot of people. It's suddenly We're having those mass abductions again. We're having, every time we're told, you know, they've been defeated, suddenly there's a burst of energy from all those criminal gangs. Let's talk, for example, about the kidnappings of school children. One of the most high-profile cases was, of course, the Chibok girls. 276 school children taken by Boko Haram in 2014. 11 years ago, until today, dozens remain missing. So you can see why those who were taken from Niger State recently, whose families, you know, family members, are extremely worried.
Yes, so I empathize with the families, and I do hope, sincerely hope, that those girls are brought back as soon as possible. There's a lot of collaboration going on. There's a lot of international support. I'm sure that in the fullness of time, the families would smile again. Yes, everything.
Yeah, but the problem, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is that the families of the Chibok girls 11 years ago are still not smiling. One man in Chibok, his name is Dr. Alan Manesse, had 26 of his nieces and cousins kidnapped from that secondary school in Chibok 11 years ago. Their parents were living far away in farm settlements. So many of them, I mean, many of the kids had to, you know the way it is in Africa, they stayed with him because their parents were away in order to be able to go to school in Chibok. And that government girls' secondary school is the only school in the entire, you know this as well as I do, in the whole local government. And of all those 26 relatives, all of them were abducted, according to him. 9 have returned, either by escaping or being rescued or through negotiation. 17 are still missing, and 78 out of the 276 Chibok girls are still missing. Can you imagine what it's been like for them, waiting all these years and not knowing what has happened to their children? And in fact, many of the parents have since died. I mean, and the impression many have is that not much attention is being paid to their plight. Every year the government, when it's April 14th, when they were taken, the government turns up, gives them palliatives, and then, you know, sods off.
It's pretty sad. I remember when that happened, I was not in the parliament, but till date my heart still bleeds that people have to go through such excruciating emotional issues.
But has that been forgotten?
No, it hasn't been forgotten. That's where I'm going.
Right.
You were linking it up with the Niger State one. Like I said, the Niger State one, the government, all hands are on deck. You know, there's security issues that we can't really divulge here, but trust me, all hands are on deck. It's not going to be a repeat of the Chibok episode, right? But all hands are on deck. We're going to ensure that everybody is brought back alive and safe to their families.
But we can forget about the Chibok girls.
No, we can never forget about them. Like I said, I wasn't in parliament then, but my heart still bleeds that those girls are still out there somewhere. And all hands are still on deck to look for them and bring them back home safely.
But you think that fast forwarding to today, the government, the federal government, which is actually in charge, now has what it takes to bring the situation under control? The leadership and the political will are there now?
Yeah, the political will is there. The reach is there. The cooperation of other countries are there. And all hands on deck. I'm sure that in the fullness, shortest possible time, the kids will be reunited with their families.
For many years, many people in this country have been saying that the numerical strength of the armed forces is very low. I mean, they were saying that over and over again, but nobody seemed to be taking any action. Less than 1 million combined to look after a country of 230 million people. So increasing the numerical strength of those forces is critical, isn't it? So in that sense, the government is on the right track.
Yes, the government is on the right track. The government has also is pursuing the introduction of state police. which is going to ramp up the numbers of
yeah, but it's
law
purely
enforcement.
theoretical.
It's not theoretical. It's very, very serious. There's political will is there. The parliament is working assiduously as well. Maybe within the next week or two, we're going to debate and vote on that. All the governors are on deck. All hands are on deck. The governors are interested. They've had various regional meetings. Southwest governors have said yes. They've even set up a trust fund. Same for the Northwest governors. So I think it's a done deal. It's just a matter of time before that is introduced. And the president has also shown political will. He said maybe we'll start with a pilot. All states that are interested should jump on board. If you're not interested, stay back. So I think that's the way to go.
Well, that's not all, is it? I mean, there's also the budget, how it is spent. That's where you come in, because you've got oversight functions. There's procurement, there's equipment, there's intelligence gathering, there's intelligence sharing, there's technology that is needed to really get on top of this insecurity problem. How do you assess the capacity of Nigeria with regard to all those things?
Yes, like I always say that we're ramping up. I said to a couple of people the other day that Nigeria had a lot of arsenal in the days of yore. And as a big brother, we took all our assets, all our arsenal, to fight the wars in Liberia, to fight the wars in Sierra Leone, and other peacekeeping, and everything got expended there. We're not a country that will go into a foreign land and exploit. What people do is they go there, they exploit their minerals and buy back those arsenals. We didn't do that. We were a big brother indeed. But that has cost us a lot.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. So this administration, the president has said that he's going to ensure that in the shortest possible time, we're going to be extremely equipped like we were in the days of yore. But we're building blocks towards that, yes. We're partnering with a lot of countries on a government-to-government basis to get a lot of asset back, right? But it takes a bit of time, right? But the willpower is there.
But I mean,
to do that.
You know, Honourable Jimi, I mean, you know these things more than we do. I mean, you've already said there are things you can't say in public, but I mean, you know, you are also a public-facing person because it's that same public that put you in office.
Yeah, they're my boss, yeah.
Yeah. The government keeps saying it's winning the war. We've heard that a lot. I mean, but we're seeing more criminal gangs taking shape, from bandits to insurgents, more mass kidnappings, not to mention ordinary people who are abducted on roads. I mean, we're not talking about the ones that are really big and, you know, mass abductions or whatever, just ordinary people who are constantly being, you know, kidnapped, and some of them killed, some of them in the most horrendous circumstances you could imagine. How can they say they are winning in those circumstances?
So like I said earlier, the government has faced the economic side of things, right? The wins in how much ratings outside, the GDP is growing, so we need it to trickle down. Once it trickles down, Nigerians, the young people will begin to have hope. They will begin to have opportunities.
But that's a real long-term
It's not
thing,
a long
isn't
term.
it?
It's not a long term. If you look at the GDP, if you look at the exchange rates, if you look at the reserves, everything is geared towards Nigeria turning the curve in the next couple of months, maybe second quarter, first quarter of next year, right? Prices of foods are going down, right? The game changer for me, which the government has shown the political will to do, is local government authorities. If we can make look at America. The big men in America, Rahm Emanuel, I used to use him as an example, used to be the chief of staff to Obama. He left that office, he became the mayor of Chicago, right? So if we can ensure that the local governments are local governments indeed, if some state governors allow the local, I always use Lagos State as an example. In Lagos State, if you see what the local governments are doing, it almost makes the job of the governor less attractive. if we can replicate that in 774 local governments, right? No, so it's also a recruitment war. If you don't give the young people hope, the bad guys will hijack them and make them do nasty things, right? Who can give them hope? Local government chairman.
But as I said, there is the short term, the medium term, the long term. Do you think in the short term, Nigeria alone can defeat these jihadists and bandits? Or should the Nigerian authorities officially call on the international community, including the US, to come on board and help bring an end to the insurgency, the kidnappings and the killings, beyond the kind of moderated way that it is being presented at the moment?
No, I think we can sort out our issues ourselves in a responsible way with our international partners.
Right. What about there's been a lot of issues, because I mean, obviously this thing, as I'm sure you know, has to be looked at very holistically. What about the list of the people who finance these terrorists and the sponsors of these terrorism? I mean, you would have thought that it's the National Assembly, which is not a part of the executive. In fact, it has arguably more power over the executive. It oversees, it oversights the executive. That you would be the ones who are saying, this must be done and this is how it's done. But we don't seem to be, I mean, you guys come across as very lukewarm.
So people don't understand that if you know the financiers, you don't try them in public. A lot of them are being under the scrutiny. They've been under the scrutiny for a long while.
No,
but these are not
trial is different from tracking
by scrutiny.
Yeah,
I mean trial. I mean identified.
Yeah, but why is it hidden? I don't understand.
Some of them local, international. Right? So trust me, it's not as if the government is not doing anything. The government has done a lot. In recent times, under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a lot is being done. A lot of them can't even ever think of financing anybody anymore.
Yeah, but
so
who are these people?
Work is in progress.
Who are these people? Why can't we know who they are?
No, the security.
I don't understand how you mean security.
You don't put their names.
If somebody is a criminal and is killing people and has led to the deaths of people, it is a major success for the government if that person is brought to book.
Yes,
and it shows the rest of us that the government is doing
a responsible government would also showcase that person at the appropriate time.
And when might that be?
Very soon. Very, very, very soon. Trust me, work is in progress. The government is working. They're tracking. They're trying, these people, and there's a lot of international help as well that is helping us bring them to book.
Well, on that rather obfuscating note, let me say thank you very much indeed. Maybe you should be one of the diplomats who's being sent abroad, because that is very diplomatic speak, and I'm not trying to be overtly critical of you, because you have been quite good having you here. Honourable Jimi Benson is the chairman of the House Committee on Defence. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Charles.
Good to see you.
Good to be here as well.